Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
Thank you so much to our feral venerator of Soirain who has supported us since day one, Lurks. In today's episode, we're going to talk about The White Tower, the 5th episode of the Origins of the Wheel of Time animated series on Amazon Prime. This episode touches on why the White Tower was created and gives an amazing explanation of how the White Tower and the Aes Sedai function, as well as a very brief introduction of the Ajahs.
Yeah.
So the Ajahs exist, which we learned in Origins.
Yes. What? We knew that the Ajahs existed.
Yeah, we knew that. So by the time this episode came out, we had seen a blue Ajah, red Ajah, green Ajah.
Green.
We had talked to those three, and we had seen a yellow one, but that one burned, so we didn't really get any background.
Yeah, we just didn't get a lot of info about the reject Ajahs.
Okay, there's no reject Ajahs, there's just not main character Ajahs in this story.
Yeah. I'm actually curious whether the show is going to change something with that.
I mean, when did this air? This aired on November 19th.
Yeah.
Which was, I assume, after episode 6.
Yes.
Or with episode 6?
I think with episode 6. Wait, maybe not.
Oh no, this is episode 3. This came out on episode 3.
I have no memory.
So this was one of the first ones to come out.
Okay.
Wait, no, wait, really?
Yes.
Really? Gosh.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. Leave Taking, Shadows
Yes.
Waiting, and A Place of Safety all came out on November 19th.
Damn.
So, if I recall, these were released out of order. Now I'm not sure. Now I don't know anything about my life.
On today's mini-episode, you asked the question, how many gays does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I'm actually not sure whether the wiki is actually correct on that because it feels very weird. I'm pretty sure the first one we got was that the Fall of Manhattan? So
I think we got all.
No.
Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not Okay, the wiki might not be right.
Yeah, anyway. But,
Anyway.
yeah, it does give a pretty good description of all of a short description of the different Ajah.
Yeah, like a 3 to 4 word description.
Yeah.
So I will say, this was an amazing summary of the White Tower.
Mm-hmm.
I could not describe it as succinctly as, and I have tried in the past many times to explain the Aes Sedai and stuff, but, I could not explain it this succinctly. So kudos to Rami Park, who wrote all the episodes, but
Honestly, it's it's a 2-minute class on the White Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Because so compared to some of the other origin story where it's really you're learning a story, it's a myth that you're discovering. This one really feels like a lesson. Okay, this is the White Tower, we have that many Ajahs, we have a whole of the tower where there's an Amerlin and a bunch of sitters, and we are next to Dragonmount because the dragon gonna reborn at some point. So
yeah, no, and I do like that this is the first reference of the actual shawl, because I remember people being butthurt about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are shawls, it's just people don't wear them very often because they're really, in the books, they're worn for very, ceremonial things.
Also, shawls are kind of out of style these days. At least
Shawls were out of style in the 90s, too.
okay, this is true. This is very true.
But I think a lot of people have clung on to the idea of shawls because it's, aside from the Aes Sedai ring, it's a very visible way to tell someone that you're an Aes Sedai, so a lot of people, cosplayers and stuff, really love the idea of shawls, which I totally get. Totally valid. They're still here.
to cosplay, it's a nice piece because it's a very obvious, when you have a shawl with the White Tower symbol on it, it's a Aes Sedai cosplay, so you're happy your cosplay makes sense.
Yeah. I have 4 shawls, so...
So, with the caveat that I love the costuming in the whole time and give it a 10 out of 10, I would much rather be an Aes Sedai in the books because you get your shawl and it's like the color of your Aja. And in the show, I would have to essentially wear brown for the rest of my life. And brown does not look good on me. So I would just carry my little brown shawl and wear black like I usually do.
I really liked how they described the Ajas as well. Warriors standing ready for the green Aja, healers of all things for the yellow, or healers of all things living for the yellow, keepers of the past for brown, seekers of justice for blue, law-focused diplomats for gray, pursuers of truth and reason for white, and those dedicated to preventing a wrong and dangerous use of the one power for the red. Interestingly, the Reds got the longest description at 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 words. Wow.
That's a sign.
It's the sign that the Reds are the favorite Aja within Amazon's production team. This is skewed, and it's unfair, and it's biased.
The red Aja is the most populous Aja in the books.
Yes.
So
fake news.
Yeah, I appreciate that they mention it's about preventing the dangerous use of the one power and not just something focused on male channeler. It's if a woman mess up with the one power, the red is gonna be in charge of that too.
I mean, I will say that I think the red Aja gets a really bad rep in the books just because we see the perspectives of people that are stupid and incompetent and evil. We don't see many of the reds that are like that one that everyone's going to get mad at me for not remembering. Pavara, yes. We don't see many like her. She's one, but I think most of them are pretty much like that.
Yeah.
But we see the incompetence like Elida or the evils like Leandrin, and that's what we get.
Yeah, and it's and most of them have a very bad opinion of men, which, considering we have a lot of POV from Bran, for example, yeah, of course, is not going to be fond of an Aja that is based on misandry. Oh,
and Galena, who most definitely knows how to bottom.
Yes.
Or is taught to bottom. She is most definitely a top, but she is taught to bottom.
Yes.
It's a very important distinction there. Robert Jordan wrote it very specifically, and you ought to honor his legacy and his intentions by phrasing it that she was a top that learned to bottom.
I'm really surprised that didn't make it into Origin.
There's no mention of that alone?
There's no mention of Galena being a most definite top in Origin.
Is there something about Galena? I still haven't received my copy. Or you can check another time, don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's in this pile of books somewhere.
Yeah, that's fine. To come back to the short, I really liked the different paintings they used to represent the Aja.
Yeah.
I think one missed opportunity Amazon would be to be able to print those, because that would be a lot of them would be very nice prints to have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love you, Amazon, for bringing my favorite book series to life and doing it so well and allowing Rafe Judkins to do such an amazing thing, but you're really fucking up with the lack of products and merch.
Yep.
So, just saying.
Where is the Othra dildo, Amazon? Where is it?
I will have it 3D printed. I do not care. I already have a little Waygate that's 3D printed that I just need to paint.
Oh, that's really pretty. You could even cut it in half and use that as bookends. Bookends.
Yeah, I was thinking, because they're this way, so I can make it a little bit, yeah. So, 2 different bookends. I just want to paint it and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Camille, you were going to express regrets over doing this whole thing because I made another Othra dildo comment?
Yeah, it just at first you said Othra dildo, and I was like, are you talking about... Because there's
that quote from Rosamund?
Yeah, that's that one. But at first I had forgotten about that. So my first thought was, there's a red town griot, which is definitely a dildo.
Oh, yeah. The red rod touring reel?
The red rod. So my first thought was that, and then I was like, no, that's something else. Oh, yes, the earth rod. Okay.
Amazon, please get on that. We need more products.
Honestly, I would be so happy to have... these would make great wallpapers. I guess I could pull them as wallpapers, but I would really love to, have them as pieces.
Collectibles.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one is probably... I really like the Green Aja one, where they're, being actual warriors and stuff, and fighting off a horde of Shadow Spawn and Trollocs.
Yeah.
Using the one power.
The yellow one's kind of creepy.
The yellow... I was just going to say, the yellow one is creepy as fuck.
It's the one with the skeleton, right?
with the skeleton with a tree growing out of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
It's life and death.
In Rafe's world, the yellow Aja is the Lovecraftian Aja.
I'm just saying, this is giving me very King in Yellow vibe.
Ooh, James referenced one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
It's Lovecraft.
No, it's pre-Lovecraft.
Oh, okay.
so it just it's funny because the skeleton and the tree thing, it's really like death and life, and there's in the book some, like, for example, the black yellow sisters are like, some of them are like, oh yes, we were good at eating, but that made us also very skilled at killing. So there's a bit this dichotomy that is snobby.
Which I kind of love. Like, I think it's really interesting to have, like, if you know how to heal really well, you also know how to kill really well. Because it's just doing the opposite.
Yeah,
Please see our episode on Cat making Nynaeve evil with Semirog.
And see,
Yes.
this is why 11 healing max at the end of Stranger Things Season 4 is not a Deus Ex Machina, because it's been established that she can kill, thus it follows she can heal. Sorry, totally off topic, not what the podcast is about, but I had to rant about that, because my brain...
I don't think the inverse is true, though.
Yeah, because you can kill very stupidly. You just stab someone and that's gonna kill them. You don't need to know exactly which point is gonna kill someone very quickly. If you have good, like, medicine skill and you know, like, exactly how the body works, you may know a bit better which points are really gonna hurt, which points are really gonna be a death kill.
I maintain my point.
A KO?
Yeah.
No, I get where you're going, Matt. I also do like the brown Aja ones. I like how they are holding little, I don't know what it's called, like sensors, I guess.
I guess my only thing about the Brown Aja one was, like, and maybe it's because I read too much into the Brown Aja, but, like, to me, they are more than just history. Like, they are just about all knowledge in general. And, like, I get what the episode was saying, and I don't disagree with it at all. It's just like, we're not just boring, dusty history people.
I love how you say we. I love how you say we.
Well, what other Aja would I be in?
Just saying.
See? Radio silence from both ends. I am a brown Aja through and through. I just like books. I don't like people. Nope.
I don't know what Aja am I.
White.
You're very white.
Sorry, Camille, you're white. James is very blue.
Oh yeah?
I think so. I think Kat's a yellow.
Um,
A yellow or a gray? She's got some gray.
bitch, I'm the gray.
Okay, sweetie. So I think Kat is definitely yellow with like a tinge of gray.
Why are you grey? Oh yes, the diplomacy. Yeah.
Because they're in HR, and like gray is the HR
Yeah.
Aja.
Gray is the HR Aja. I know how to be gray. I think I'm a blue that knows how to like cosplay as a gray really well.
Yes, that is it. That is accurate.
Maybe I'm just a white that wished they could be blue.
Yeah, you're pretty white.
I just don't care about justice that much.
Whew.
I like what is the word? What is it when you like deal out justice? But
It's called justice.
no, okay, so the Grey Aja are law-focused diplomats. I don't necessarily... In the books, they are diplomats and mediators, which I really vibe with. I'm not super law-focused, because those sound like lawyers, really. But I like the diplomat part, and I like solving problems. I had a friend, Aubrey Pham, who people may know. Probably not. Anyway, Aubrey, hi, if you listen. She's very, very good at, like, putting people into Ajas. Like, one of the panels at Jordan Con regularly was, like, sort people into Ajas and stuff. And she, like, asked me a bunch of questions, and she was like, you're gray because you like solving problems and you like knowing things, but you don't like doing a whole bunch with it. And I'm like, that's fairly true.
That's an interesting way of describing the grey.
It is interesting. Yeah, sorry, Camille. I think you're pretty white through and through,
It's the math.
which is a good thing. We need a
I
white.
don't know. Pursuer of truth and reason.
You are very logical.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I mean,
like...
the whites are the mathematicians and the engineers of the magic world, whatever it's called.
But you're also very green. So you're like
It's true.
you're like a
Mint green Aja.
a light green.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you identify with?
I don't know. I'm a warder.
See, and that's fine. Like, in this world, I am also not a member of any Aja. I'm a slutty innkeeper. And that's fine.
I don't know what I would be in Randland. No, I would not be a shadow spawn. I actually would not side with the shadow in Randland, and you know that. So I don't actually know what I would be. Not a warder because I'm weak.
Yeah, you might be a brown warder. They just have to carry books.
I'd rather just be a brown.
That's fine too.
Actually, know what I would be as? I would be an Aes Sedai that lobbies the White Tower to change the brown color to something that's just vaguely less fecal, because brown is ugly. It looks good on nobody, and it's, I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point.
Brown looks on. It's a basic color. You can put it with everything.
Yeah, like chocolate. I don't want to go into the hall of the Tower Me and look like a big old Hershey bar.
But you're so yummy.
Ew.
Ooh.
No, I am very curious about, how in the mythology the Ajas chose their colors, because colors is a very basic thing, which I get, but these, how they wound up with these colors, I'm very curious about it.
So I just said that there you could not rationally say that any color was better than the other, so they're just not going to pick any color. So they ended it well.
Well, white is also a prism. It can be more of a prism, so...
Yeah.
See, I like the color turquoise, and I like the arts and books, so I would just create my own Aja, the turquoise Aja, which is the arts and the poets, the writers, the artists, the singers. We would be the fun Aja, the one that everybody wants to join, because fun people are creative.
And half of the time, depending on the lightnings, they don't know whether you're green or whether you're blue.
That's fine. That's fine. It's up to interpretation. That's what art's about.
Yeah. What else can we say about... Wait, did you have something to say?
We were going to go talk about the other colors. We got kind of lost on which one to lose our...
Oh, nobody cares about the other colors, though.
Wait, what?
You got upset about brown being, just about books.
It's ugly.
And, okay, but then they went into the Seekers of Justice Aja, which was the blue. I like that in the picture there's people, whispering to each other, because that is very blue. I don't know about the main woman with, jugs, not breasts, but, actual water jugs. Don't know what that really represents, other than the...
Metaphorical breasts.
Is it meting out justice?
I think meting.
That's what I was trying to think of earlier. And then you have the Greys, the law-focused people, and their picture is kind of blah.
It's like the Greys.
Yeah.
And that's it.
There's the Whites, which are odd. They're also reading and doing math, it looks like, and are playing with circles. So that's what you like to do, Camille.
Yeah.
And then the Reds are actually, kind of badass. Even so, we did mention about how it's not about just the men, but in the picture, it's literally, 3 women fighting men in the Red Aja's thing, so...
The Red Aja are the anti-man Aja. They can't hide it. They can try, but they can't.
Wow, way to stereotype.
Hey, it's not a stereotype if it's true. It's not a stereotype if it's true. Anyone listening knows that I don't actually think that, but I have to just say that before someone comes into our mentions when this episode's released.
No one cares enough.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No one cares about me.
Yep, that is what I said.
It is exactly what you said.
Exactly what they said.
Yeah, so overall, I think it was a really, really good episode.
Still pretty good drawings.
It's beautiful art.
We haven't talked much about the art is always beautiful in this region.
What haven't we talked about?
The composition of the tower? Say talk a bit about the hall of the tower, or is that something that you mentioned?
I think it's... we see the hall of the tower in the book, or in the show.
Yeah. The show doesn't mention the sitter, so we figure out that there's 3 main...
That there are 3 representatives, yeah.
They're not named as sitters.
Yeah.
And we don't really get what they do exactly, because we just see them when they are judging Logain, which was pretty much a single decision from the Merlin seat.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, they were kind of just for show in the show.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see them actually functioning as sitters. Maybe that's how we'll see, Suan Tower crumbling a little bit. If that, breaks out, fighting in the hall, and that would be interesting to see.
Some political discussion in the hall would be very interesting, yeah.
I would like to see more of the scale of the tower, the the Origins episode, like, really did a great job of, like, showing us different parts of the tower, like, and showing us how huge it is.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen from the outside how huge it is, but, like, when we're in the tower, and we're in Swan's chambers, and we're in the lesbian Terangrial, we don't, like, see and grasp, like, the interior of, like, how huge the tower is. So I would love to see more of that. The Aes Sedai walking across the enclosed bridge was just probably my favorite shot.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it was beautiful.
I mean, I did like the tower being constructed, can see people working on it in the background, and I assume one of them was definitely an Ogier, because Tarvalon is made by Ogier, so... But no, there was only one scene in the books that going up shot from the hall, where you got to see how immense the actual hall was, like stories tall.
Yeah.
But I agree that it would be nice to see. She looked so tiny.
Yeah.
Walking.
Yeah.
She was literally just like a little tiny thing. But it's easier to do in animation than it is to like pull off in practical effects.
I'm not sure how much they could do. I mean, at least they already have part of the tower that is already built.
Right.
So they could progressively expand on that.
I mean, the tower / Shale Ghul? Or not Shale Ghul. Shadar Logoth. God damn it.
Yes. I mean, no, that's more about the outside of Tarvalon, like the city itself of Tarvalon that is using the same thing. But like, for example, they did have a room that was used for Swan's office, Moraine's room, Stepin's room. It's always the same type of design they're using. They're just switching what's inside. So I'm assuming they could have a lot of the smaller room inside the tower being something like that. But it would be nice also to see, those big hallways, those bigger place where you can see a bunch of different Aes Sedai and
those beautiful like stained glass windows. Those were really pretty.
Oh, I love those. Like the White Tower wasn't, and this is like just another dig at the show haters, but like the White Tower wasn't anything like what I pictured in the books. Like literally not at all like what I envisioned.
Because it was a penis and balls.
No, I mean, I imagined it to be much more, I guess, sleeker and less inspired by older, more gothic architecture, and I love the direction it took it. It's just an example of how something can not at all match what you see in your head and is still very beautiful and something that you appreciate all on its own.
When I was reading the book, the thing is that when you call that a white tower, to me, I just think about a single tower, and it feels small. Mm-hmm. But like, in Tarvalon's building that correspond to the White Tower, it's just massive compared to the rest of the city. And that must be so empty considering how fewer Aes Sedai they have right now compared to a few centuries ago already.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at, when I just look at this image of the island of Tarvalon and I see the big tower in the middle, I'm like, oh, okay, it's one big building. But then you look to the side and you're like, oh no, that's a big building in a regular city, so this thing is massive. Like, it is just insane huge.
Yeah.
I did also think of a single, like, monolith tower, but I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful, well done. I also love that we got a lot of background / information for how it was produced by like VFX and this kind of things. There was a lot of information released about that after the show came out. And there was especially, I don't remember which company did that, but one place where we could see like a shot from above the cities and how it's kind of like circling around. There's a specific way it's the buildings are arranged, which I thought was pretty neat. I don't think we see it at all in the show, but it's fun to realize how much into details they went to when they designed the Tarvalon in general.
I mean, because part of that is also like that saying that all roads lead to Tarvalon, even though that's not how roads work. But yeah, that's kind of what they were.
Yeah.
Oh, like Rome.
I'm really glad you joined the rest of us, Matt.
I just made that connection, and I'm like,
no, are you serious, man?
Yes.
Of course, it's about...
I have a minor in classics and Roman history, and I just made that realization.
Okay.
Okay.
I was wondering if we were going to have an episode title, but Oh, it's Rome is probably going to be it.
Maybe.
Oh, God.
Maybe.
Yay, I'm smart. I figured it out.
Good job. Do we mention a little bit that they mentioned Dragonmount and the Dragon Reborn, or we don't care, not really care about that? It's interesting that they do mention it's next to that.
No accident. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no accident.
I don't remember if in the books it's specifically built on the island of Tarvel, or like on that island because it's right by Dragonmount, or if that's just like a convenient place, but it makes sense that it would be built there.
I think it's because
It has to be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know when it's mentioned. So I feel like maybe in New Spring when Moraine is like the first few chapters. I'm wondering whether that as Moraine is like hanging out with the Armenians at the time.
Yeah.
And she does think a little bit about Dragonmount because there's a fight on the slope of Dragonmount, but I don't remember. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they built it here because, like, as a reminder that the dragon's going to be reborn.
That's why they exist, pretty much, because that is
Yeah.
pretty much why the Aes Sedai exists.
Yeah.
No, I think
That's it then.
looking up in the wiki, but
And also, it's Tarvalon is basically just a university. It's dedicated to progress, research, and training. Yes, it's a university. Great.
it's Hogwarts, but better.
Yes, because they also do research.
Yeah, and there's no turfs there.
Well, the Red Aja exists.
Yes, there's some turf there.
Okay, fine.
I'm sure there's some turf among the Red Aja.
There probably would be. If trans people existed in the Wheel of Time.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queers of Time podcast. If you liked our show, please give us a review on Apple Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Queers of Time and on our Discord server. If you're able, we'd love to have your support through Patreon. We've got a lot of nice benefits there, and this helps us cover the cost of producing the podcast, so thank you.
Also, I did just read that it was the island of Tarvalon was chosen for its obvious defensive benefits, as well as because of the proximity to Dragonmount. That would remind the sisters that one day the dragon will be reborn, and they have to prepare for it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
All right, end the episode. Done.
Done. Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.